Welcome back to another episode of Golden Rush Bus, GROB. I'm your host, John Behrens, and we're driving. We're driving to pick up a 1980s Kawasaki 454 LTD. There we go! Woo!
I'm nervous, not gonna lie.
Woo! All right, so I'm here with James. This is the guy who owns the bike. He's going to be selling it to me. You mind telling us the backstory on the bike there, James?
So, it was my buddy's uncle's that passed away, and my buddy, me and him were gonna fix it up, but then he ended up moving out of state, so he pretty much gave it to me, and I don't want it, so.
Well, all right. Well, we got the bike in the back, and when I tell you this thing is pristine, this thing is pristine. It hasn't been out of the garage since 2008. Him and his buddy were going to get it running, but like he said, his buddy had moved away, and he didn't want the bike no more. So. All right, so I'm out here on the garage. I'm working on the old Kawasaki that I picked up, and I didn't get any keys with this fine machine. So one thing that I've already done is I have already picked the lock. I actually did. No, I didn't drill it out quite yet, but I did pick the lock. Using a very thin screwdriver, I managed to get my gas tank open. Now, if you look inside there, which I will show you in a second, it's kind of rusty. Not bad, but kind of rusty. I was trying to do the same thing with my key switch up here, but I'm not able to do that. So I'm going to go to drill it out. Well, all right. I went to the store, and I got myself a battery. So I'm going to put this battery together. This one's you have to add the acid to the battery to make the battery do battery things. So I'm going to add acid to it, drop the battery in there, and see if we can get anything else to come to life. I pulled the spark plugs out because I want to make sure if we have spark. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take my key here. Take my key. Okay, we got lights. Put it down in the ignition. Turn it over. So we have lights now. It says we're in neutral. I'd like to see if we have spark. So I'm going to press on my start button here. Oh yeah, they're both lighting up like Christmas. The next thing I think I'm going to do, I'm going to take some brake clean. I'm going to put it down in the cylinders. I'm going to see if I can get this thing just to fire up. All right, so I'm going to start it up. All right. Well, we got it to pop. All right, I wasn't quite done. I wanted to hear that thing run one more time. So, whoa! Fire! Well, I'm gonna wait till we put carburetors on it. All right, so that's off. Working on my carburetor. Carburetor actually does not look very bad at all. This is gonna be a really fast fix. I'm hoping that this one over here also looks good like the other one. And they're clean. They're in really good shape. I think, honestly, if you were to put gas in this, it probably would have ran. In fact, I think I'm just going to squirt some carb clean through it and call it a day, to be honest with you. All right, so I put gas in the machine. It's leaking profusely. So I'm going to fire it up really quick and then probably shut it off, just to see if the carburetors still need to be cleaned or what I need to do next with the machine. So I'm going to take my key switch, turn my key switch on. We're going to add key switch to the parts of things that I need to pick up. The engine stopped, switched on to run. I need to put it on choke a little bit. And So I still have a lot of issues that I need to go over before this bike is ready to hit the road. However, we're one step closer. All right, well, it has been a couple days, I'm not gonna lie, since I worked on this thing last. So it wasn't running right. It was dripping a lot of fuel. So I was like, you know what, the carburetors they just aren't right. So what I did is I went in, re-cleaned them. I found a couple jets that were completely clogged. So I took all day and cleaned those out and made sure that there's holes for, you know, the fuel to atomize and move through. And then put everything back together, and it still didn't run right. I was like, well, what the heck? And I used that parts kit that I got from eBay. And I went back in, took the carburetors back out, went back in and looked at the jets. The jets that came from the eBay parts kit were 20 thousandths undersized. So took those jets out, put the original jets back in, and we're gonna see if she comes to life. Killed it. Now, question would be, does it go? There it is, back in neutral. Will she fire back up? Guys, I messed with those carburetors again, cleaned them out again, and not only that, but I tuned them. And man, if I am saying she is running mint. I tuned them with the air box on, and man, she's just running great. So let me fire her up for you. And she just sits there and purrs all day long. I'm going to clean this thing up. I mean, she is a little bit dirty. Not quite a Hustler magazine, but on the lines of like Sports Unlimited swimsuit edition see-through. So she's a little dirty, but not too bad. I'm going to, clean her up, and we're going to see what she looks like after that. I think she's going to come back to life after we put a nice polish and spit shine on that tank. We got the bike running well. I think it's time we give it the needed bath that it so desires. So I've got some soap and water here, and I'm just gonna wash her down, and then after that I think I'm gonna put a polish on her. You can polish your turd, and usually they come out okay. If not, just flush it, and it's ready to go for its maiden voyage on its drive to, I don't know where we're going yet, but we'll figure it out once we get there. So yeah, I'm gonna fire this thing up. I got my tracking vehicle that you guys are in, and we're gonna take this thing on a little spin. So let's do the damn thing. Well, that'll do it for this episode of Golden Rust or Bust. Thank you guys for watching so much. If you haven't already, hit that like button, subscribe to my channel so you can see more content like this. I'm slowly working my way up, getting bigger and bigger projects, and hopefully we can work our way up to getting more cars in here, getting more, like, you know, small engine stuff. I got some ideas. I got some ideas up my sleeve. So, on this episode, you saw me take this machine from non-running to running. There was a fireball during that time. It was great. I almost caught my fingers and myself on fire. I saved the bike first and then worried about myself second. That's how you know you're a true mechanic. I think the bike cleaned up really, really awesome. I mean, the paint on it is pristine. Go and check out my other friends, Junkyard Diggs, Junkyard Mook, Thunderhead 289, Dylan McCool, Cars and Cameras, Jeremy Rhydes. Go and check out those guys. I'll have a link in the description. I'm sure I'm forgetting some people. You always comment, you know, who I'm forgetting. So yeah, just go and comment it again. I'll make sure I read them. For $200, this bike turned out to be a steal. Running and driving bike, you can't beat that for $200. I had to buy some parts and put some parts in it, like usual. But I think that I could probably get my money back out of this bike from selling it. Hopefully the guy that I bought it from, maybe his friend will want it back now that it's running and driving. As always, thank you guys for watching this episode of Golden Rust or Bust. Make sure that you guys stay tuned because I have a lot of stuff up my sleeve. And as always, keep those wrenches turning.
Thanks for watching.